Hi, and welcome back to another Amazon selling video. My name is Nikki Kirk, and I've been selling on Amazon doing retail arbitrage. As of this month, I'm hitting my 8-year anniversary. So that means also this will be my 9th Q4. If I did that math right, I always have to do it. Right? Right. Right? Anyways, I'm so excited because Q4 is the best time of the year as an Amazon seller for any retailer, really. And if you sell on Amazon or Walmart or anywhere, you are a small business and you are a retailer. So it is the best time of the year. I think August is a great time to start because I guess personally I started and end of August. Technically, I think it was like the 17th of August is when I started. But yeah, August is a great time to start because you get all those like little kinks out and like you learn all the little weird funky things that come with selling on Amazon, so that by the time Q4 rolls around you are rocking and rolling and you can really make some great profit. So as I've always said, I started in August and I took out my first profit. End of December was when I finally pulled profit out of my business. So it is a great time to start. So if you want to get started, definitely I highly recommend. But I'm excited, and I know all of you who sell on Amazon or Walmart are also excited because it is Q4, and that is the best time of the year. So if you're watching this and you don't know what Q4 is, Q4 literally is quarter four, so that would be October, November, December. Technically, although I say it kind of starts early September because that's when we start doing Halloween stuff and all of that. But yeah, so that's what Q4 is. And in this year's Q4 prep series, I'm going to have a bunch of different videos. So coming up, if you want to subscribe to my channel, I would love it because I'm really going to trying to get that plaque if I can ever get to 100K. But anyway, so if you want to subscribe, I would love that. But also because my videos I think are helpful. But so coming up, I'm going to be doing a new 2025 FBM template because if you are not FBMing during Q4, you really, really should be because hint, there's so much profit to be made. And I didn't do an updated video last year when they rolled out the new SSA. I actually only ever talked about it in my Bolo group and in the Q4 Bolo group. I walked through how to do them all, but I never made a video. So I'm going to make a video for you guys this year because that template is so important to have for your Amazon FBM business. If you're scared to FBM, I'll walk you through all of that and why you don't need to be scared. I'm also going to be telling you sourcing tips, so I'll have sourcing videos, things to look out for seasonal, all that kind of stuff. And in this video, I'm going to be going over how to identify a replen. So most of Q4, probably around Halloween, like the first week of November, all I'm doing in Q4 is really, I'm looking for the bolos that were shared in the Bolo group that people have already, bought, sold, and they make money. So I'm looking for those and I'm running around and I'm replenning and I'm replenning and I'm replenning and I'm replenning. I literally just am driving all over to different Targets and Walmarts and doing store pickups, or for things you can't pick up, you have to like order in store. There's certain toys that you can't do pickups where you have to go and actually see if they have it. So for that kind of stuff, I'm like parking, I do my pickup, I park, I go in, I grab the stuff, and then I'm off to the next one. So it's literally all about replenning. So being able to identify those replens is so important. So that's what this video is going to be going over. But before I jump into all that, I did want to announce that my Q4 group is going to be back for its 5th year. For 2025. So you can sign up now to get on the early access list. So I have the link here on the screen, or I'll drop it below, yoursellingguide.com/early access. You can sign up and be the first to know. And actually, so the doors are going to open on the 25th of August. But if you sign up, you'll get an email on the 23rd. So you will get early access. It is limited to just 200 sellers and it has sold out. 1 year it sold out in 3 days, which was just mind-blowing. So definitely get on that list if you want to be a part of it. It is, of all of my groups, and I love my Bolo group, I love my baby, but there's just something about whether it's the Q4 time frame or just everyone is so like, we share so many leads. It's focused on Amazon. There will be some bonuses for people who want to share, like I'll be sharing Walmart leads and like that kind of stuff, but I'm not getting into all the Walmart and all that of it. But almost everyone does sell on Walmart, so there will definitely be some of those leads in there too. But again, focused on Amazon as far as the bolos go. But just being in there with the community of sellers who get it, and we are all so generous with our leads. We make so much money together. It is so much fun. So this year, the biggest difference is that it's going to have weekly hangout calls. So we're going to be prepping together, packing together. We'll probably be packing FBM orders. We're going to be just having a good time chatting about whatever's going on that week. You never know what Amazon's going to roll out. So we'll be, riding that wave together. And it's just a really good time. You find out about the bolos that maybe people didn't share, but they just kind of mention them or we talk about them on the call. So just having that community is really the most valuable. And if you ask anyone who's been in the group in the past, they will say the same thing. So yeah, if you want to go to yoursellingguide.com/early access, the Bolo group kicks off August 25th and it will, once we hit 200 or if it so that would be selling out. Once it hits 200 members, it will close. So definitely get on that early access if you want to make sure you grab your spot and stay tuned for that. Okay, so how do you actually identify a replen, or let's just back it up a little bit, and what is a replen? So a replen is replenishing items, which is short for that you can just sell consistently. Like you don't have to go think that sells, so you grab it and go. It makes your business so much easier, and everyone loves a replen. It's one of like the most frequently asked questions in the Bolo group is how do you find a replen? Because that's what everyone wants, right? But I'm going to show you like what goes into it and things to look for so that you can identify your own replens. To get right down to the truth, it just starts by scanning items. You don't know. It's not going to be like, oh, look at me, I'm a replen, come pick me off the shelf. It literally is just you scanning products, test buying, and seeing how they do over time. So what you want to look for is consistent pricing of the item, consistent like how you can get it, and consistent, like hopefully not a lot of sellers come on because we all know what happens when that happens, right? So you want to have something that you can consistently buy, sell, repeat. But there are different types of replens. So there's seasonal replens, like I just talked about during Q4. I'm running in, grabbing stuff and leaving. A lot of that stuff is kind of like grocery items, toy items, where the toys will sell year round. So don't stop sending in toys. Don't year round. They'll sell in January. The toys sell year round. But there are certain like toys that sell more of during Q4 or that they're harder to find during Q4. And so you'll get those specific replens of like maybe a toy item or maybe a baking item. Maybe this thing that people bake with is only available during Q4. So you can sell it while it's hot and then you can grab some more and maybe, buffer it out and keep selling it throughout the year. But you want to know, is this thing seasonal? If you find it at a store like Ollie's or Grocery Outlet, it's going to be kind of a limited, right? You can't just go get more of them later on because that's not how those stores work. There are TJ Maxx's and Marshalls who consistently get the same thing. I've replenished stuff from those stores for years. But then there's other times where they got a buyout of like maybe Walmart needed to get rid of something. I don't know. But they bought all that stuff. And so once it's gone, it's gone. So there's different kinds of replens where you could be replenishing it for a month. You could be replenishing it for a quarter, or you can be replenishing it year after year. Sometimes your replens will get flooded with other sellers. And if that happens, then you have to wait out the replen. So there's times that I'll scan stuff at TJ Maxx and I know I sold it in the past or I've replened it in the past. But when I scan it, so I'm still always scanning this stuff every time because I want to make sure and do, all my checks. Like the rank is still good. The sell price is still high. There's not a lot of sellers taking it. But sometimes when you scan it, it has tanked because maybe more sellers are on it or maybe the brand hopped on it or Amazon. So you don't want to go or get more of that replen. So I'll just put it back on the shelf and next time I'm in the store, if it's there, I scan it and I do the whole thing all over again. But that's kind of why a Bolo list, a lead list is good because you know things to look for and you're not just having to blindly scan a whole new shelf or a whole new category. You have those things that you can consistently look for. So as I mentioned, a replen starts out just like any other item. So I'm going to walk you through an example of a spice. This is just a random spice I looked up on Amazon, but it has a good Keepa graph and I want to show it to you. And I'm just going to pretend we found it at Walmart. I don't know where you would get it or what price you would get it at, but we're going to make up some things and we're just going to walk through this example of this spice for you because I'm always scanning spice. Why am I always scanning spices? Because my first year, I found really good spices at Grocery Outlet. I still, to this day, it's one of my favorite stories because it involves my grandma. But it was Lowry's like roasted garlic salt or just seasoning. Whatever, the roasted was what made it different. I guess they stopped selling it. I was getting it either for $1 or $2, $1.99 at grocery outlet, and it was selling for $20 on Amazon. And I remember packing it up, and my grandma was like, well, is it good? Have you tried it? And I was like, of course not. I'm selling it. I don't need to try it. Other people know it's good and they want to pay for it. So I have always scanned spices, and that's just more things that you'll get to know as you keep selling on Amazon. You'll know, oh yeah, I sold Jurassic Park. Some of them are good. So I always scan Jurassic Park. So you just kind of get those things. Okay, so it's a Simply Basil certified organic little salt, or not salt. I don't know why everything's salt today. Sorry. Spice. So it's got a good rank in grocery. This is Rev Seller if you didn't know. And I picked this one because Amazon is not selling it. So again, you would see if Amazon was selling it or not right here. I don't see any yellow bars, which means Amazon is not selling it. Now, how many would I test buy of this? Well, first things, it's obviously low cost. So let's pretend I got it for 50 cents, even though even then it's not all that popular. But hey, it would make 50 cents and it will make $2.79. Not look at the ROI and the margin, right? I'm not mad at that. So let's pretend I got it for 50 cents. And that's just its everyday price at Walmart. It's always 50 cents at Walmart. So, okay, I can get this thing. It's small. It's light. It is glass, so it's going to take me some prep. I'm going to need to bubble wrap it and polybag it, right? So I don't want the glass to break in the warehouse. Everything needs to withstand a 3-foot drop. So I'm going to take a little bit more prep. But since it's 50 cents and it's lightweight and that ROI is 585%, I'm going to go ahead and say, you know what? I'm going to try 10 of these. Now, how many I will actually test really does factor into those. Where can I get it? Is it at Ollie's? Is it at grocery outlet? Is it at TJ Maxx? Is it at my grocery store on the clearance aisle? Is it at Walmart every day? It's always in the aisle. If it's always in the aisle, I can easily go Replens. So maybe I only want to try 4 of them. If it's at grocery outlet or Ollie's and there's only 2 of them in the state that I can go to, it's not going to be all that easy to replen. Maybe I want to test a little bit heavier, but test I'm still going to do because I don't want to have to, lose money or return them all. Or if it's at TJ Maxx and I've seen it before, then I know I could probably replen it. So I'll still, again, test. Well, at TJ Maxx, you're probably going to buy whatever they have, right? Because they don't usually have a lot. But you get what I'm saying. So how big it is, how much the prep that goes into it. If it's a case of 12 cans, that's going to be a heavy item, right? Maybe I don't want to test as much as that. How much you end up testing, again, how much it costs, how much prep goes into it, where you got it, how easy it is to replen, and then honestly, how much money you want to tie up into this first item that you're testing. So depending on all those factors in your business, and every seller is different, that will go into how many you're testing. Okay, so we're going to say, what did I say? I was going to get 10 of them. I'm going to bubble wrap them. I'm going to polybag them. So that is going to add into a little bit of my costs. But now let's go down and look at this Keepa chart to see how stable it is. So first thing I see, like right now, there's been 16 offer counts. You see this here at the bottom. It'll go down to 15. Sometimes there's a little bit more. We've got 17. But back here a couple months ago, there was more offers, 21 and 20. And now you can see over here, there's currently 16. And they all look to be about the same price. This person has it for $6.99, so they're dropping the price a lot. They've got it for $7.99. This $3, but I'm assuming there's going to be shipping. Yeah, so you're going to have to pay shipping on it because it's an FBM seller. Again, $4, but there's $4 shipping. So there's some funky things here. So if I was going to send in an FBA, which I'm assuming is what I would do with it and what you would do with it, you'll see here $6.99, $7 from all these sellers. Okay, so those are all the different sellers. Now what happens, and this one is kind of okay, but you see what happens with the price here. Usually, and I'll show you a different one, an example of this. Usually the more sellers, the price will kind of fall. So this one has a pretty stable price. There's some low balls. So like these little low ballers here are the FBM ones where they're offering, where you pay for shipping. So you see I can get it for $3.84, but I would be paying FBM shipping. or $6.20 FBM, but again, Grandiose Goods has it for $7.25. So there's a little bit of price volatility here, but for the most part, it's right around $7 to $8. So it's not that big of a red flag. And if I go back to a year, you know, the rank has been going up and down, but you can see it's always right around, you know, under 100,000 in grocery. So that's great. And then Amazon was on it for a little bit for some reason, but they were up at $9, so that's fine. This one, the Keepa graph looks pretty good. The only funky thing is that there's this big increase in the amount of sellers on the listing, and I'm not totally sure why or what happened, but then you can see it kind of dropped back down, and so now we're at a steady, like, there's usually always 16 sellers on it. Back in the day, there was 7. But for the last 3 months, pretty consistently been around that many sellers. So you want to know how many sellers are on it, again, because how many sellers, and you saw how those prices were all over the place. So if some other FBA seller saw that someone had it for $4.89 and just had, you know what, let's go ahead and match that price without looking that as an FBM seller, they would inadvertently cause a race to the bottom. So that's why how many sellers on it matters. And again, it matters to you and your business. Like, I don't necessarily care how many sellers are on a thing as long as the price is stable. So this one has a really stable price. It would be a pretty solid replen if I could actually find it for 50 cents at Walmart. Now, the other cool thing about when you test buy, so you'd send me these 10 and say it sells right away. As soon as I shipped it off to UPS, it wasn't even to the Amazon warehouse yet, and it was already selling. That is a huge green flag to go buy more, right? But let's say it didn't sell like I thought it was. It has 300,000 or 30,000 rank in grocery, but for whatever reason, mine are just not selling, and I'm right at the buy box price. There could be too many sellers where it's rotating and I'm not necessarily winning the sales all the time, or it could just be something going on where on this one, it's a variation listing. So it could be that I bought the variation that doesn't actually sell. So with my test, I would find out, okay, that's not selling like I thought it was. This is not something I'm going to want to go replen, right? Now, quickly on the variations of Keepa. So you can see there's a 2-pack and a single pack, and you can tell on the reviews right here, this little trophy, 169 reviews. So the 2-pack is not really selling at all. There's actually no reviews for it. I mean, it probably is selling. There's no real way to know what's selling. You can just infer things based off of the data. But based off of the data, it's not really looking like it's sold. These are all just different things to help you go into how many to test, what could have possibly gone wrong with this replen that you thought you had. So one of my favorite stories, not full favorite, but whatever, there was a Olay, like, I think it was like a lotion pump or something. It was, I think I could get it for $1.79. They had a whole table of it at Ollie's, you know, those middle tables. Like, whole corner of it was full of it. So I was like, well, how many do I get? It's so cheap. So I think I got about 80 of them. I got a lot of them because it was cheap. It was easy. I was just going to polybag it. Well, come to find out why it was at Ollie's. There was something wrong with the pump. That's why whoever, Olay, got rid of them and sold them to Ollie's. So they were all getting returned or just refunded because they were beauty because there was something wrong with the pump and you couldn't actually get the stuff out. So I don't go deep on a first buy anymore, ever, because I have in the past and it has always burnt. So I still just test buy. Some of my test buys might be 20, but again, it's up to you and your comfort level and what you're willing to lose if everything should go sideways. Okay, now very quickly, I wanted to walk you through another Keepa graph to just kind of show. So here you can see that Amazon, this is Clinique, and I picked Clinique because I knew it would show this. And I needed something, I couldn't think of anything off the top of my head that Amazon wasn't selling that would actually show this. Okay, so you can see Clinique got gated for everyone last year. So that's why there's only the one seller, which is Amazon, on it for the last 3 months. But if you go back a year, or last year, but if you go back to 2024, when it got gated, I will show you some of the things that you want to watch out for when you're looking for a replen on the Keepa graph. So you see how it has this influx of sellers here, 10, 11, up, up, up it goes. And then you see the price is unstable. So it was selling for back here, it was $24, always selling for $24, but it goes up and down to 20. Some sellers with 12, up, down, up, down, up, down. And then as the sellers sold out, so while there was a lot of sellers on it, the price is kind of down, which is normal. And then when sellers start to sell out, you see the price creep up. So now we've got it at only one offer, 2 offers, 3 offers, and the price is creeping up to $30, and it goes up to $50. And you can see based off of Amazon's price of $64, that is what the brand values it at. That is what it's supposed to be priced at. But maybe back in here it was cheaper, who knows. But let's assume it's probably supposed to be $40 and everyone was selling it for cheaper. So you can see here that less sellers that are on it, the higher the price and the kind of more stable the price is. And then you see it starts to all of a sudden pick up, and you've got 5 sellers, 10 sellers, and you see that same correlation with the price going up. With the seller count going up and the price going down, 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 down. And then all the way to $11. I think they did send a warning out about Clinique. So that could be people trying to get rid of all their stock. I can't totally remember. But yeah, so you see it. And then all of a sudden you see all these sellers drop off. That is what's known as the IP cliff. So everyone got kicked off and got IPs, and that did happen. It wasn't just that it was gated. They went an extra step and sent out like either was restricted products or IP, some kind of like account warning, which is never fun on Amazon. But yeah, so you can see that thing. So I just wanted to show you what to look for stability. So it's fine if there's some ups and downs. Usually it may have been shared in a lead list or something, why it went up all of a sudden. But if you see it pretty stable with the sellers, like we saw with that spice is pretty stable, that's a good thing. If you see the price going like this crazy all the time, it's not necessarily stable. So that might be something that you might hold your price while you have it and not replen it. And then when it sells and the price kind of rebounds, you can go get more of it. All different things to look for. Okay, so now how do you protect that replen that you did find? You keep it a secret. Don't go telling everyone on social media or whatever about your replen, because the more people who know about it, the more sellers, and then the price will start to drop. So that's why people aren't going to tell you their replens. They may tell you the categories that they're in or things like that, or maybe a store to kind of like help you on your way. But no one's going to tell you their replens, because we want to keep making that easy money, right? We want to keep replenning it. And the more people who know about it, it just doesn't happen. And then you also got to be flexible with your timing. And like I said, sometimes you might not buy it. Sometimes you will buy more of it. You never know. And then once you see how often it sells, make sure Amazon's stocked with that. Maybe you send in 100 a month or 30 a month or 50 a month. However, whatever your sales volume is, keep on top of your sales. I use Sellerboard to keep on top of all of my sales and track my data like that. But you want to use something to tell you, oh, hey, I need to go buy more of this. The main takeaway I want to leave you with is that a replen is not a one and done situation. There are ebbs and flows to it. You might be seasonal. It might be year round. It might be for a month. You never know. And it's not just going to scream at you that I'm a replen. It always starts out with that first initial scan and test buy. So keep a list of all the different brands or items, or in mine it's mental, but maybe you need to actually write them down, like Jurassic Park, spices, like all the different things that you've learned through either watching videos or just selling yourself. Make sure that you have that like list of things that you go out and look for. And then once that item starts selling, go get more of it and make that thing a replen and make your life easier for as long as you can. I'm really excited because there are seasonal replens that happen every year, and they always get shared in the Q4 group, sometimes by me, sometimes by other sellers that find them and share them, and I am so looking forward to it. So like I said, don't forget to sign up for the early access list at yoursellingguide.com/early access if you want to be in the Q4 group this year. I cannot wait. It's going to be more close-knit than ever with those weekly calls, and I'm really excited for it. So I hope to see you then. And until next week, when we're going to go out sourcing, have a great one.